All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Legend of the Galactic Heroes, episode 83.
Yang's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah. Sometimes, the Miracle Yang ran out of miracles, ran out of luck. And some no-name guy just happened to shoot him in the leg, and he bleeds out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot imagine how the people close to him are going to react to this, but also the people that find out eventually, that find out like way later.
Like Reinhard?
Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That'll be interesting.
Oh, but guys, I just want to get in this because I know it's going to be like extra painful because for us, we got to have that first kind of hit of the feelings regarding it because it was really sudden and brutal, but with everyone else, it's going to be slow.
Yep.
To grieve.
We have a lot of episodes left in this show.
We have a lot of episodes left in this show.
But I have no idea what it's all going to look like because Yang's gone.
Yang's gone. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. There it is.
Yep.
Everyone in Iserlon has not only been made aware, but they are also making their choices with regards to how they react to this. Which means that the next episode will probably be the Empire reacting to this.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a possibility that they try to keep it as down low as possible,
to get
as
everything
long as possible.
Right, exactly. Because
but once the Zerders start going out with Murai, there's no reason for this to be able to be kept secret.
Yep.
It'll pass along just eventually.
Right.
And make its way up to Reinhard.
But okay.
What will they do? Oh my god. So first thought here, the Murai stuff is just a really cool mechanic is to deal with the whole people who don't believe in the philosophy, the politics, or even just the ideals. They're just there following the man and the legendary miracle worker himself.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, in some ways they're very much like Green Hill with the, I don't give a damn about democracy. It can burn. It could, the universe can be reduced to atoms.
Well, and even even with a lot of the people that stay, they're going to be staying because they're still following Yang. Like in Reinhard way, with his clasp, of Kierheis's hair, right? It's going to be the all right.
Yeah.
You got us all riled up for this.
Yep.
We're gonna keep going, but not because like Schoenkopf. I was really excited to see how Schoenkopf responded to everything because Schoenkopf was the one that was constantly telling Yang, just take power, man.
Just do it.
You're a good man. We will follow you to the bitter end, right? Yep. Like that.
And he never.
It'll be better that way.
And here's the bitter end.
Right.
Yeah.
And
now what?
Schoenkopf's still going to follow him to the bitter end. The fact that he's like, well, we'll lead you or we'll help you support you as much as we can from the shadows and from behind, and if it ever, but then Schoenkopf said, and if need be, we'll die with you.
Right. If you fall, we'll fall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's this aspect though I loved about Schoenkopf where once you realize that he's like, all of this, I thought that, like, I wouldn't have to think about this, though, by coming here.
Yeah.
And I really, I don't know what it is about him, but it's just that there's this part of him where you get this vibe that he's like, did I make the wrong choice? And it's like the tiniest percent of a doubt. Tiniest bit of a regret. But yet he's all in. He's effectively all in. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna help make this boy the best that he can be. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be the biggest dog in the circus, basically. And I'll do it.
We've got a much bigger fusion reactor.
As loud as I need to.
Right. We've got the much bigger fusion reactor. Alan Iserlon line was great because it's the it's the hey, fall in line.
Of
right, exactly.
The short term, you know.
Yeah, it's communicating in no uncertain terms. I understand, but shut the hell up and follow orders. Right.
And we'll get our vengeance or what have you later.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any place to like make any kind of
make
presumptions.
It happen in your way.
Or make any presumptions that we don't want it as much as you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
if not,
we're human beings too.
Yeah.
We're not going to claim some moral high ground here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hurt these people.
Yep. We're going to get creative with it.
We are going to take our time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a very cool development, though, plot-wise, because while it was, for the most part, pretty clear that the Church of Terra was behind the machinations leading to this, it's now confirmed that there weren't even Imperial soldiers involved.
Yep, they just got some uniforms and there you go.
It was so completely disconnected from them there, other than the appearance of it being the Imperial, so that they could get to make this work.
And I love that, because that is something that that I was a bit worried about, that there could be basically just that bit of uncertainty, and then because there's the bias, because you're enraged of Yang's dead and he was killed by Imperial hands.
Right.
If it's not something as concretely damning as Terra is my home, that they were carrying with them for some reason, then it could have totally fallen apart, right? But the peace talks are still probably going to fall apart because they don't really have any negotiating power. Like, the most they have really is banking on Reinhardt's respect for Yang as an enemy, because the whole point is that it's too expensive for you to actually take the rest of the universe. We're going to make you pay enough for it that then we have some bargaining power.
Right.
But without Yang to lead them, and with however many of their men that defect or desert.
Yeah, Yang's death here might have saved them.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because Reinhardt's motivation for doing this was not really to unite the galaxy as much. Like, that's part of it, really. But it was just, there was some unresolved business up here. He wanted to live again. He wanted to feel young. He wanted to feel alive. He wanted to feel like a conqueror again. He wanted to go out there and go up against someone in a fight that was better than him. In some ways, his equal, his only equal.
Yep.
And now that one's gone. I expect it's going to hit him hard, but I also expect it's going to hit him slowly.
Yes.
In that it's going to have waves of effect.
This is the part where Reinhard truly wastes away. He's been because
you think he's going to only waste away?
Well, okay, not who knows?
I think he'll burn bright once more.
Maybe, and then bright and terrible, possibly.
Yeah, bright and fast.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll entirely waste away here.
Like, if we were to call Reinhard an alcoholic, he's been a functioning alcoholic up till now. A very highly functioning alcoholic.
You used that to describe Reinhard when there was a clear alcoholic.
God, Poplin, just...
No, I was talking about Yang.
Oh. Well.
Trying to have levity, Jacob. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
The true alcoholic went out like...
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the part where as soon as Julian sees Yang there, and of course he's shell shocked and his knees are trembling and stuff, and he's going up and he's like, this can't be real. And then the other Imperial soldiers around the corner, and all of a sudden everything he sees red because there's a whole lot of it, and everything that Yang taught him about, hey, we should avoid fighting if at all possible. Now, granted, this is a time for fighting, right? It's like these guys came in and attacked. They need to be at the very least subdued, if not taken out, right? But Julian enjoyed it.
I mean, he was in sheer uncontrollable rage.
Yeah, it was.
I think in some level, when you're that
coping.
Out of control, I don't think you enjoy anything. I think you basically just have white noise. You're just numb. It's a static thing.
Sure.
It's just you're expressing the animal instinct to be
to destroy.
Yeah, a destroyer. Yeah, there's no deep anything to it.
And the fact that he went in for like I'm going to mutilate the bodies, you know, that broke my heart.
Yeah, he was only really stopped by his adjutant that came in.
Right. He had to be physically stopped. Otherwise, he totally would have kept going.
Yeah, he didn't let go of the axe until he had been held and talked to.
Right, and then it's
20 seconds or so.
Are you going to leave Yang's body there? Are you going to leave him like that?
Yeah.
And then it's that snapped him out of it. And man.
But I have to give my hat off to Frederica's
voice actor.
No, not just the voice acting. The voice acting was great, but she stepped up in a way that I hoped she would have. Mm-hmm. But she channeled humanity and did not put up any false pretenses regarding what the situation was. There's something so matter-of-fact about her that made for Yang's almost not like... Yang was never a coward, you know? Mm-hmm. But he was kind of the type B kind of personality where he's like, no, I don't want to fight.
He's very pragmatic.
Why are you guys so loud and serious about everything, you know? Like, yeah.
He's a cat.
He's a cat. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But Frederica stood up here and, like, really, really might have saved everyone. Because if she hadn't have done this, I don't think Julian would have.
Nope. Julian definitely wouldn't have.
And who's really going to be able to support and help her through this? No one, really.
Nope.
No one really is going to be able to be there for her in the way that she needs.
No.
Like, but I loved the talk with Kazern's wife in that.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
The setup for how
you have to do this, Julian.
Cannot be me.
Yep. Don't shy away from this.
You will regret it if you don't do it.
If Julian hadn't been the one to tell her, I don't think he would have been able to actually take the responsibility of assuming command. And if he could, I don't think it would have been a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that Frederica took it so well at the beginning and picked up on it so quickly goes to show that she had been preparing herself for something like this for a long time.
For a long time.
Right? Because of course, you can only...
Yeah, there were multiple moments where Yang nearly died.
Yep. Yeah. They call him Miracle Yang because he constantly goes into impossible situations and somehow pulls something out of his ass, right?
Yep.
You know, rests the stars so that they align. You can't just do that forever.
Over and over again,
right?
Yeah.
Eventually your luck runs out, and she knew that. Mm-hmm. You know, she didn't necessarily know when it would happen, but she hoped. And God, the image that she painted of him growing old, and you know, him in his chair, and as the world slowly forgets about his accomplishments, and oh man, that
hits me so hard.
That's a ton of bricks right there.
Because it's not just the fact that he got to grow old, or he got to have some peace, or he gets to see grandchildren and stuff. It's just the idea of, like, how many more decades would he have had to go through to get that? And it's yet, like, no, he deserves that and more.
Yeah.
He deserves that
and the
way
more. Don't I forget the adjective that Julian used, but don't call it that. I would gladly, you know, I don't give a damn about democracy.
Admirable.
Yeah, admirable, yeah.
So
I would gladly reduce the universe to atoms.
Yeah, can I talk about that scene in depth? Because I think that's probably one of the best scenes we've had, like,
in the show.
In like Frederica's character, like, specifically.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that has been kind of a constant, kind of unique situation with regards to Frederica is that the way that her kind of connection to Yang started was from one that saw the shining star.
Sure.
The human that was doing the things that no one else was basically willing to do. She basically saw him as her hero, right?
Yep.
So when she looks up to him, he is admirable. Now, at this point, he's not that important in the military side of things.
Yes.
So she's kind of like a fangirl in that she attributes to him more than even he necessarily would say he deserves.
Sure, and more than other people would. And
yeah, absolutely. So she has a heightened, inflated view of him that is not necessarily just a I'm attracted to him kind of thing, but also just like a, no, I really respect him and all these things.
Yeah.
Now, Now, if you think about, in a really silly way, the word admirable, it's able to be admired. Admiral.
Yeah.
That's a dumb little connection there. But in some ways, she might have seen the admiral in him before anyone else did. But now, here, who's her fan? The one that she looked up to after all this time now leaves her far too soon. So now you have to try and practice what you're preaching to Julian. Basically, try not to copy Yang or anything like that. Just be you.
Yep.
Do all that stuff. Be admirable. No, fuck that. She's like, no.
I'm not so kind-hearted of a person.
Yeah, and I'm also not so in love with myself or filled up with the idea of all these great things that I could do or be.
Yeah.
I'm just a person.
Right.
Yang was just a person too, but the difference was that in some ways, she chose to see Yang in that way because of the specific things that he did do for her.
It almost felt like her decision to take up the position of political leadership was kind of done out of spite, where it's the universe took him from me too soon, right? And there's no real necessary reason for it. I mean, there is, but it's very cold and callous and casual, right?
So it's spiting the universe.
Spiting the universe. Okay. He wasn't supposed to go just yet.
So how is it spiting the universe? Like, help me out here.
Because it's living in direct contrast to this thing. The universe said Yang is going to go away, right? And while she won't be Yang, she's no replacement for him. She's going to do the best she can in order to make sure that the things that her husband talk about and the foundation that he worked so hard to lay down doesn't get wiped away.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to hold in tandem with the other part of I do not give a flying fuck about democracy or any of this other stuff. It can all burn.
Right.
I'm not trying to be some admirable person here.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I'm literally doing this because there is no better option. And I think that there's something beautiful in that both things are right. Like what you're saying here. I wonder though if spite is maybe slightly off though. Because
I mean, that's a poetic word to use, but
well, right, but it feels like
I don't think she's actually saying I'm going to spite the universe by doing this.
No, but I think what I feel like you're getting the vibe at is you almost feel like she's shaking her fist at like the universe and reality for doing this to her.
Sure.
Like in some ways. And I don't think it's that personal, if that makes sense. The idea that she doesn't see herself as being someone that was the one that got.
Because she doesn't think highly enough of herself.
Yeah, I'm not admirable, right? I'm not one that's worthy of this thing here. The point is that we're all not worthy of fitting into the shoes here.
Sure.
So it's more of the thing of like, no, this is pragmatic. This is cold. This is just, it has to be. There's no, the emotion is in how angry I am at the fact that maybe maybe the spite thing is more like just anger.
Just right, because she mentioned specifically that it's the I'm not going to let the foundation that my husband worked so hard to build, get destroyed, right? So so there is very much an element of heat to the denial of what the universe would present. That this is now the point where everything that Yang did falls apart. Because that would be the natural way of things, given that he's dead, right? Quite frankly, Miracle Yang, well, they're going to have to pull a miracle out of their asses if they want to make any kind of progress in this regard, because this is the ultimate fatal blow, right? Like,
yeah.
You don't just shake this off.
Right. Which is why I see it more as like it's less of a display of look what I can do despite this whole thing here, but we better come together here. I'm needed here, so I'm gonna do this. I don't want this.
Right. And that was a really cool parallel in that, you know, she's like, yeah, if there's no other option, then okay.
Yeah.
Right. And there was no uncertainty in her, right? It was the, as long as there's no other option, then I will do it. Right. Even though Julian was so convinced that she would say no.
Right. You know? And that's because he knows that she doesn't want to do it.
Right. And that's what makes her perfect for the role.
Right. That's what makes her not only perfect, but also someone that in the long term is perfect. Because I think that what they're doing here is, as soldiers, they're thinking about this very mechanically.
Yeah.
Based on who they put here, more people will desert or less.
Right. They're in problem solving mode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're trying to solve a math problem.
Yeah. And this is the best solution to their math problem. Mm-hmm. Murai added a really cool, like, little extra variable onto there.
Good man.
Which is, way to go, dude. Way to go. I am really curious, though, how Merkatz is going to fit into all this.
Me too, because I thought for sure that he would be one of the main people that would die in the conflict with Reinhard. Oh. Because, like he's...
Glad he didn't.
Like, they've even mentioned... Or no, they said that about Bukak. But Merkatz has kind of been in a similar vein of things where... Mm-hmm. He's gone through 2 generations of governments basically that got turned over. Now, granted, the whole Alpha Seal thing and all that stuff that didn't really last very long. Yeah. But he's all the way from the old empire.
He is.
He's yeah, he's seen some shit, and the idea that he's still kicking, like, if he is alive at the end of this series, my God. Now, I am very glad that he is still alive because
many people have to die from this point in the story, though.
No, that's true. Given that Yang died here,
they might have the war over here.
Yep. They might. Sure. Yeah, that's true. But like, Merkatz will be able to do so much to help Julian.
Merkatz could pass away in old age, though, and that would be a sweet kind of way for him to go.
And kind of ironic, you know. Because
the whole thing with Yang is so bloody ironic. It hurts.
Yep.
On the Church of Terra side of things, they got ships. Mm-hmm. They got an army, effectively. That's a lot of resources.
Although if we're talking in galactic scale organizations, you know, 2 ships probably isn't too difficult.
No, but they got it into an active war zone.
Yeah. And we're not entirely sure because since they were Church of Terra, I'm assuming that the orders that Reinhard sent for the 2 ships to go and help, those were bogus, right? They didn't actually happen. Now
they didn't, yeah.
Right. Now, I feel like those... It might have been said by the narrator that Reinhard sent the 2 ships out. That might have been to lull us into a false sense of security.
Well, let's not assume anything.
I don't know.
Remember.
Right, but these were Church of Terra people. There wasn't a single Imperial guy on board.
No doubt about the fact that these people were not from Reinhard's fleet.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's curious.
That's very unnerving because what the show has been... slightly, I thought, in my mind, building up was that the Church of Terra was floundering after their loss at Terra. Mm-hmm. But if anything, what it feels like it's more that is that, no, they're rearing up like a snake, ready to kind of make their venom bite, their venomous bite.
It feels like something where basically you had like a bunch of like ant tunnels, like you had an anthill or something, and you took a big rock and you crushed the center of it, right?
Yeah, and then maybe flooded a bunch of
it. And flooded a bunch of it. Yeah, let's keep it. Let's keep the
literal stuff.
One for one. You know.
Yeah. It works really well if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. But there's still pockets of the anthill that weren't reached, and they're all separated and things like that. But theoretically, they could still have a bunch of resources, and if someone manages to get in touch with those pockets, then they could use those resources, and then it's truly like. It's the weeds that keep popping up, right? You can't ever really get them all because it's everywhere.
But like you're saying, if someone managed to use those weeds, someone of a Rubinsky type.
That's true, because one of the things that
I've
been wondering about is what's going to be the main galactic conflict from here on out. Because while the peace talks might just fall through, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that at the very least.
I don't think Reinhard will come in with his ships and just decimate and execute everyone in Iserlohn.
Right, and even if he does come through and subjugate them, it will happen very quickly, right? Yeah. Without Yang, without Fisher,
it won't take a lot of episodes, is what you're saying.
It wouldn't take a lot of episodes. Mm-hmm. So what's the conflict still? Well, we have Rubinsky, and he always, from the beginning of the show, seemed like he was sort of elusive man, secret endgame kind of a thing, right?
Very much so, yeah.
And then there's the whole idea potentially with Ruental, if he does end up going to make a move. And there is this headcanon that's been stewing in the back of my mind of Julian facing off against Ruental. Oh. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But,
So, do you think Ruental would succeed? 'Cause I don't think he would.
I don't think he would, but I don't know what's going to happen to Reinhard necessarily.
Well, I think he could maybe do something, if he ever did something like that would actually get Reinhard out of the picture, but I don't think there's a chance in hell that Mittermeier, Mariendorf,
well,
all those wonderful people around Reinhard would actually let this happen.
The way I could see it happening is that Reinhard basically abdicates and makes Ruental his successor as if he truly shuts down or burns out or whatever.
Yeah.
And like spends time with his sister and stuff. Then
I could see that, but I still think Reinhard's gonna die.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it'd be more of a thing of where if Reinhard intentionally abdicated.
No, that's the next target for Church of Terra.
Oh, you're right.
Because think about it. You took out Yang, right? That's one. The peace talks aren't going to happen.
Reinhard's next.
Yeah. Because while Ruental is the probable replacement, right?
Yeah.
And Mittermeier's there with him, so in that sense they're doing really good.
Sure.
Oberstein, as much as I love him and his Dalmatian, he probably would cause some trouble. And then there's, the whole Lang guy who's just a cockroach and stuff. And if both leaders fall around the same time...
Yeah, it could be chaos.
Reinhard's regime could destabilize.
And then we get war states.
Yep. And then that's where Julian actually has a conflict that he might be able to have some influence in, right? Yep. Because then it's something where it's the Empire gets reduced down again, and then the new thing that gets formed is when they work together or something like that, and then Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
So it's the thing of where we will never get another conversation between Yang and Reinhard, but we will get a conversation between Greenhill and Mariendorf.
Okay,
fuck yes, that would be amazing.
That would
bring the two most badass ladies in the galaxy with all of their intelligence and their wit and snark.
Yep.
Just have them sit down and Julian's in the middle of them, okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna say something that might break your heart.
What
makes you think we've seen the last conversation between Yang and Reinhard?
Oh, well, that's cute. I could see that, but yeah, I don't think Reinhard is that broken that he'll either start talking to a ghostly visage of Yang, or when he dies, we'll see Ghost and Yang and Ghost Reinhard.
I'm just saying, Reinhard has a lot more connections with the dead right now than the living.
That's okay. That's just a line. That's not actually real, though.
Who does he have a real connection with that's alive? Emil?
No, freaking Mariendorf.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kept at arm's length. So now it's equal.
Yeah, but you can't call the top like a thing we has with
Emil.
No. His lost red-headed...
Oh, Kierheis.
Yeah, Kierheis. That's not some connection that's actually serious. That's more of just a...
Oh, I don't know.
It's a fading tether on his soul, just kind of wisping away, and he's just kind of watching it happen.
I mean, Mariendorf has commented a couple times that, she feels like he's...
Yeah, but we're now not talking about the episode anymore, so I got you. But y'all, guys, this is hard.
This is the universe we live in now.
Yep. So thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.